Hey everybody, this morning I am east of Indianapolis, just east of Indianapolis at Hancock Gateway Park, which is just off behind me. You've got I-70, Interstate 70 on the east side of Indianapolis. If you get off on the Mount Comfort exit, which is actually County Road 600, and you turn right, and you go to the south, you would end up right here. So I can see people coming off that exit. So this is called Gateway Park. And there's actually Hancock Health, kind of a little medical facility behind me that they call Gateway because, well, it's really named that because it's kind of the gateway. It's not quite the gateway to the west like the St. Louis Arch in St. Louis, but it's the gateway into Hancock County. So if you're looking for ground floor type of areas to get into, this could certainly be one of them. So we're going to talk about this a little bit in this video. Stay tuned. Hey everybody, I'm Jason Compton with the Living in Indianapolis channel and the Living in Indianapolis team. Again, I'm out here at Gateway. Everybody just calls it Gateway here because it really is the gateway out here to the east. So I talked to a lot of people that are looking for all kinds of things across Indianapolis and then of course all of the cities and towns that surround Indianapolis, but there are some that want to know, where should I get in where I'm kind of getting in on the ground floor, where prices are still a little lower, relatively lower. Of course, that's a totally subjective thing as to what a low price is or a high price for somebody. But where I can maybe get in there and get a little space. I can get a newer home. I can also get a home that's been around for a little while, but it's gonna be on a larger lot and it's just not gonna be really all that crowded. Combine that with, I don't want to be too incredibly rural. I don't want to be so far out where I've got to drive 30 or 45 minutes to get anywhere for my daily needs, like a grocery store. Now, you can live in a lot of places and be 30 or 45 minutes to downtown Indianapolis, or if you need to drive to one of the other cities and towns surrounding Indy, that's a given. But if you look at the population around Indianapolis itself, all the cities and towns that surround Indianapolis, we're talking 2 million people or so. And Indianapolis, you've got Marion County for the most part is made up of Indianapolis addresses. You got a couple little tiny exceptions, but mostly Indianapolis. To the north, and that's roughly 900,000 people or so. To the north, you have Hamilton County, which is where Carmel, Fishers, Westfield, Noblesville, they're all located. There's 400,000 or so people, actually more than 400,000 people in that county. So between those two, it's making up most of the 2 million in the whole metro. You get into Hendricks County to the west, where Avon, Brownsburg, and Plainfield are all located. And you have Danville in there too, and some other small towns. Well over 100,000 people there, well over. And then you get into Johnson County, same thing, well over 100,000 people there. That's where Greenwood's located. And you've got several other smaller towns located through there and people kind of spread out. But you get just to the east, it's one of the donut counties that surround Indianapolis and surrounds Marion County. And you have Hancock County. In this entire county, which butts right up against Indianapolis. So if you go just to the west on I-70 here, the next exit is Post Road, and that's actually pretty well into Indianapolis. So you could take some of these other county roads, head to the west, and you'd be in Indianapolis, or at least a place with an Indianapolis address in a very, very short drive. It's not very far. So we're really close to that border here. So it's close. It's really close. In fact, from here, you could get to downtown Indianapolis in about 20 minutes. That is quite a bit faster than what you can from Westfield or Noblesville or even out in Brownsburg or Zionsville. It's really, really close here. As soon as you get onto 70, you can start to see it. It is there in 20-minute drive or so to get all the way in there. If you get in there and park and all that, okay, you're ridiculous to say 20 minutes. It's more like 25, and really to get all the way in there, probably a little bit more than that. But it's not that bad, it's not that far, and it's not that far out there. This whole county, less than 100,000 people. So around Indianapolis, and you're looking for that place that hasn't really exploded just yet, Hancock County is really it. If you look at some of the other counties, they're further ahead than where Hancock is right now. And if you want to get that space, you want to get that place that's a little less expensive, you have to go further out. Here in Hancock County, you don't have to do that just yet. You can be right here along this Mount Comfort Road. If you go further north, we call it Oleo Road as you get up towards Fishers. But here it's Mount Comfort, and then it's 600 as you get further to the south. So if I go directly east of here, you'll get into Greenfield. If you go directly south of here, you get to New Palestine. If you go directly north of here, you get to McCordsville. So those are some of the cities and towns that I've talked about in other videos before. And those are kind of the major metros, the major metropolises of the entirety of Hancock County. They are not very big, but they are going to get big. I wouldn't say huge. To say that they're like a Greenfield's going to be 100,000 people, that's probably a stretch. And if that happens, it's going to be a very long time. It's going to be years. So if you wanted to get in a place to get some space, get something less expensive, and you're there 10 or 20 years, well, that place is going to become a whole lot more popular. And it's become, or the price is probably going to go up because the demand for it's going to go up because it's just not that far east of Indianapolis. Then you're going to have to go really far east of that to start getting into that ground floor type of area. But of course, that's much further out. But I-70 up here, this thing it has been under construction, it feels like forever, because it now has to support more of this growth and this movement heading out to the east. As it stands right now, when you get off of 465 or you're coming east on 70 straight through Indianapolis, as I said, the first exit is Post Road. You can get off there, Post Road goes north and south, or you can come up here to the Mount Comfort exit, which is actually several miles, about 6-ish miles or so, which is several miles east of Post Road. You can get off here, but then the next exit is Greenfield. So not only is I-70 being widened, eventually here in the next handful of years, there's going to be another exit that's actually created in between this one and also the one for State Road 9, which is the Greenfield exit. All right, so now what we're gonna do, I just hit that Starbucks, so you could probably see in some of the video, right here at Gateway Park. I'm gonna pull into this Circle K. I have to get some gas because I am running on fumes right now. And we're gonna drive over to where that new exit is actually going in, and you can see kind of how desolate and rough that area is right now. And from the time this video is being filmed to when that exit's gonna be put in, we're talking several years still, but that's where it's happening, and that's where some of that expansion's going. So I'm gonna get some gas, we're gonna head that way. So just got some gas, all filled up now, and went south out of the gas station, and I'm gonna head east through this intersection here, and this is a pretty good example of some of the stuff, keeping my eyes out for everybody. Going through a roundabout, and people think around the whole Indy Metro that get to Carmel and there's gonna be a ton of roundabouts, and yeah, there's gonna be a ton of roundabouts. I'm not joking at all when I say that they have a lot of roundabouts. The sheer number is insane, but they've leaked all over the place. Indianapolis, certainly Fishers, you go to the north, you go to the south, you go to the west, and definitely out here to the east. So as some of these new road construction projects are taking off, planned, there are quite a few roundabouts being installed. So they're fantastic. They help the traffic flow. They certainly look really nice when you compare it to stoplights and just normal intersections, or even stop signs for that matter. So you're gonna find them out here. Now, when we head up here to 200, where this exit's gonna be, nothing much there. In fact, I'm wondering where I'm even gonna park to show you guys what this is gonna look like and where some of this expansion's actually going. All right, so here I am looking at traffic right here on 200. So you come east on I-70, Out here to 200, here comes a truck going a million miles an hour right by me. And you can see behind me, county road, looks like a county road. Cars are kind of flying, and I'm walking up this hill to the overpass. It is not pretty out here at all. You can see behind me, going up to the overpass, right over I-70. So this is where the next exit is going to be built. And crazy enough, it's still several years away, but all of this junk over here, this construction equipment, all these rocks and dirt, this is all stuff for I-70 and the expansion project for that. But eventually, this will probably look the same, so they're putting in these exits. Now, when the federal government steps in and starts widening an interstate and they add exits, something's going on. Something is coming. So you look around this whole area if you're driving on 70, and it's a little desolate looking between Indianapolis, where that post road exit is, and even the Mount Comfort exit. It starts to look a little more crowded, a little more commercial, but then you get out this way to where 200 is, what I'm crossing right now, it just looks like country. And you go another 5-ish miles or so from here, and a little more, and you get into the Greenfield exit, State Road 9, and then past that, it's more desolate. So this is so ripe for expansion, and that's exactly what's happening here. So, wow, I mean, this project on I-70, widening it, is kind of brutal. If you look down, where I'm looking down, whew, it's rough right through here. So if you have questions about anything like this, where's the next place where I can get in before everybody else gets in? This is the kind of stuff that you have to reach out about, because it's hard to tell on a map as to exactly where you're gonna be. And not everybody else is gonna be there with you. I'm gonna cross this road and head back down off of this thing. You gotta reach out any way that you know how. You can email, you can text, you can call. Absolutely do that, because we'll always answer those questions for you about what's probably gonna be the right fit, and where, if you wanna be really urban, you wanna be really city, this is not it. This is definitely not it. But if you want something like that on the ground floor, definitely reach out. Any way that you know how. And until the next one, as that truck goes by, we'll catch you later.